Have you ever walked into a room, you stopped, and you thought, wait, why did I come in here? So you stand there like a tourist who lost a map. And instead of figuring it out, you say, since I'm here, I might as well grab a snack. Well, that's brain fog. I've opened up the fridge, stared inside, and completely forgotten what I've wanted. 5 minutes later, Carmen finds me having a silent standoff with a jar of pickles. And she says, what are you doing? And all I can say is, I think the pickles know. A personal favorite, I once lost my phone while I was talking on it. Not beside me, not under the couch cushions, in my hand against my ear, and Carmen just shook her head and said, really, Bryce? And I know I'm not alone. Brain fog sneaks up and makes you laugh and it makes you cry all at the same time. Well, today we're going to dive into Parkinson's brain fog, what it is, why it happens, and 5 simple hacks that I use to cut through it. And here's a quick teaser. Stick around to the very end to unlock today's Bryceism because it changes how I handle brain fog. But I also have a bonus hack that sounds silly, but it works every single time.
Welcome to Living with Parkinsons. The good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community with Bryce Perry. Let's begin.
Hey friends, I'm Bryce, and this is Living with Parkinsons, the good, the bad, and the reality. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're part of my inner circle, you already know you are the heartbeat of this community. Now, here on this channel, in this podcast, we share the real life side of Parkinson's, the raw, the funny, the frustrating, and hacks that actually help. So if that's the type of thing that you're looking for, hit subscribe and know that you're not alone or you're not alone anymore. But let's get right into this. If you have ever felt like your brain clocked out without giving notice, well, these hacks are for you. Let's start with the hack number 1, which always surprises people, okay? When brain fog hits, my instinct is to plop on the couch. What actually helps is the opposite, moving. You know, one day Carmen convinced me to walk when I was full fog mode. I grumbled like a kid told to mow the lawn. And halfway down the block, something shifted. My body loosened and my thoughts cleared just enough to feel human again. I remember another time I was fighting an email, like it was a final exam. And, I decided to take a quick loop around the block. I came back. The words finally played nice. Movement did not cure Parkinson's. It didn't cure my Parkinson's, but it reset the brain enough to get it started. And, we have tons, I love this community, tons of comments in the community and tons of people that share their own hacks. And, I took a couple out of there. One of you said, I dance in the kitchen to oldies and it clears the fog better than anything. Another said, 5 minutes of gentle stretching gets my wheels turning. My favorite confession? A fellow was saying that he vacuums when his fog hits. His wife loves it, and he feels sharper. And that's a win for everyone. Now, why? Why does this help? Well, movement increases blood flow to the brain. Think like an Etch-a-Sketch. Remember those old things? A little shake, and the picture resets. So that's hack number 1. But what if the problem is not stiffness? What if it's being overwhelmed all the time? If that brings me right into hack number 2. Brain fog turns every task into Mount Everest. You know that. So what do? I lower the mountain. Instead of clean the kitchen, I wipe the counter. Instead of answer all my emails, I reply to 1. I once told myself that I would fold 3 towels, just 3. And by the time I finished, I folded the entire basket. If I had told myself to fold all the laundry, I would probably still be there staring at it today. And Carmen laughs because I'll say, hey, I'm just going to go and put the forks away. And then 10 minutes later, the dishwasher's empty. And, you just need that small doorway in. Just think of it as a small doorway in. And again, from the comments from the community, one of you said, I break chores into 10-minute chunks with a timer. I do not always finish the job, but I finish something, and that feels like a win, and it sure does. Another one shared, I go 1 drawer at a time, and if I try the whole office, I fail. Drawer by drawer, though, I win. That is progress over perfection. Now, why? Why? Well, Parkinson's makes multitasking harder. Breaking things down lowers the cognitive load. It's like downloading a huge file in parts. It just gets through faster. So hack number 2 is about shrinking the mountain. But even when tasks are small, they still vanish if I do not set reminders, which brings me to hack number 3. If it's not written down in my world, it does not exist. My phone dings so much, it deserves its own paycheck. True story. I once reheated coffee and I totally forgot about it. And 3 hours later, Carmen's asking me, what is that smell? I cooked the coffee into a hockey puck. It was crazy. Another day, I found the TV remote in the fridge. Maybe I thought it needed to cool down. I don't know. We only found it because Carmen wants some yogurt. Otherwise, I'd still be looking for that thing. And one of you told me in the community that you plaster sticky notes on the bathroom mirror, the front door, and the TV. And if it's in my face, I will not miss it. Someone else said that they set alarms on their Alexa, their phones, their tablets. It's like a symphony of reminders. And another person said, I keep a big whiteboard in the kitchen with my top 3 things I need to do tomorrow. Not 30 things, just 3. If I get those done, the day is a win. Now, I love that top 3 rule. When the fog is heavy, a mile-long list feels like punishment. 3 actually feels possible. And why? Why is that? Well, dopamine hits working memory, right? Reminders are like your backup hard drive. So hack 3 is reminders, but sometimes no reminder in the world will cut it, will it? And that is when we turn to hack number 4. Now, I've stared at a blank screen for 2 hours and I've told myself I was working. Then I closed my laptop and I lay down for 20 minutes and I woke up again with ideas. So trick of the trade. You got to slow down. You got to take a break. But keep it short. Keep naps short. 20 minutes is gold. 2 hours is a ticket to Groggy Town. Someone once told me that they close their eyes for 5 minutes with calming music and it reboots them. I always like that, reboots them. Another person said that they knit quietly and it resets the brains without knocking them out. Now for me, sometimes it's just 10 minutes outside. No phone, no screen, just breathing. And the fog may not vanish, but it sure does soften. So hack 4 is all about pausing instead of pushing. And that leads me right into hack number 5. It's funny how they all just lead into each other. Sometimes you need a spark. For me, it's music. I have a playlist that puts me in focus mode on command. It's like my let's rock it out playlist. Scents work too. Peppermint oil, freshly brewed coffee. The smell alone says wake up. And that wakes me up. I can smell it. You ever say the smell of fresh coffee? And you can smell it? It's crazy. I don't know. Anyway, in the comments I read that someone said that they recite a poem that they learned as a kid. And it's like flips a switch. And someone else said the smell of orange peel brings them back to themselves. And my favorite one that I read, I juggle 2 tennis balls. I am terrible at it. That's the point. My brain wakes up. I thought that was really cool. Did something that they knew they were awful at because they'd try and their brain would wake up and cut through that clutter. And why does that happen? Why would that happen? Why would that even help? Well, let me tell you, senses are routines. Senses and routines are wired into memory. They light up brain circuits that feel dimmed by Parkinson's. So that's why it works, and that's how it works. So those are my 5 hacks, but honestly, the best part is what's coming next, the wisdom that you share in the comments. So in the comments, I'd love to hear your hacks. What do you do when the brain fog is there? Is there anything you found that gives you relief? Share in the comments. Your comment might help somebody else like anybody, because people actually read the comments here. They really do. Just makes me think of, there's a couple other comments too, like, I know. A person said that if it matters, they book in the morning. Something like if they're booking appointments, they know that their brain fog usually kicks in the afternoon. So the very important meetings or appointments that they want to do, they go to the mornings because the afternoons are a lost cause for them. Now that's wisdom, right? That's not lazy. They're working with the rhythm. Morning brain is different from afternoon brain with Parkinson's. And you know what? Some of us have morning brain and some of us has afternoon brain, right? And what do I mean by that? Well, it's just that fog. When does the fog kick in? How about you in the comments? Love you, right? Love it if you tell me right now, afternoon brain or morning brain? Which brain is better? Are you more cognitive? Are you more like in charge and large and in charge in the morning and foggy in the afternoon? Or are you more in charge in the afternoon? Let me know. Just afternoon. Just call afternoon brain or morning brain. Which one is better for you? So I heard this other thing too, that somebody kept a journal of funny brain fog fails. and they said they laughed at themselves on purpose. That's medicine. Humor lowers stress. Lower stress lowers fog. And stories like that, they help the rest of us feel normal. Don't they? Anyway, here's another tip. I'm just going to throw this in there. Pre-stage. I pre-stage everything at night. Meds beside me on the counter, clothes on the chair, coffee mug beside the kettle. Like, that is future you helping present you. Pre-decision is a brain fog superpower. And there was another one I've heard as well, that this one I think is so great. It says, I set a 2-minute rule. If it takes less than 2 minutes, I do it now, before my brain wanders. Isn't that cool? Like 2-minute rule. If it's something so quick, just do it. Just do it right then and it's over. That rule has saved me more times than I can count. Keys on the hook, pills in my tray, email sent. It's just that simple, right? And let me add another one. Once I blanked out during a conversation at a family dinner, and everyone, they looked at me. You know that feeling. It's awful. I felt useless for a second, and then I made a joke about my brain buffering. And, I always had this thought of 3 little dots on top of my head going off, ew. Everyone laughed, the pressure dropped, and the words came back. Humor gave me oxygen. So here's the thing. Whether it is water, whether it's structure or humor, all of these community tips line up with 3 themes: spark, structure, or break. And it takes us right into the science behind it. You see, dopamine does more than movement. It helps with attention and working memory. When dopamine is low, the brain has a harder time holding a thought and switching between tasks. And that feels like fog, like brain fog. Think of your brain like Wi-Fi. The router still works, but the signal keeps dropping. That's just brain fog. Out and in, out and in. Sleep problems, fatigue, stress, and some medications can add to it and make it worse, which is why it feels unpredictable. Some days the signal feels really strong, and some days it stutters. And your strategies make sense. Sparks boost arousal. Structure reduces the load. Breaks let the system recover. And that's why the simple things work. Don't overcomplicate this. Simple things work. And the good news is researchers are also making progress. Longer acting meds, cognitive training, even brain stimulation approaches. It is not just about movement anymore. It's about cognition too. And that gives me hope, because cognition and these things that we deal with that no one else can understand and things that we can barely explain to people, they're the tough ones. But the hope is there. And that hope is exactly what this Bryceism is about today. Here you go. With Parkinson's, brain fog does not mean the lights are off. It just means the Wi-Fi signal is weak. Now, I started saying that after a day where I blanked in a conversation and I felt completely useless. Instead of beating myself up, I said the signal dropped. And then I smiled, I reset, and I kept going. And that shift took the shame out of it. And speaking of resetting, let's end with the bonus hack that I promised you. You ready for it? Narrate what you are doing out loud. Now, this sounds so goofy. It sounds crazy, but it actually works. Say what you're doing. I say, I am putting my keys on the counter, and my odds of remembering go way up. They really do. I once couldn't find my glasses anywhere. I don't know why this works, but finally I just out loud, I'm going to the bathroom and I'm going to find my glasses. And guess what? They were on the sink. Talking out loud refocuses and resets your brains and keeps you on track. It's like telling your brain, not just thinking about it, it's telling your brain what you want to do and what you are doing, and it keeps you on task. Sometimes I even narrate my morning routine. Pill bottle on the counter, coffee mug on the left. Like, I'm saying this out loud. Carmen thought I was auditioning for my own documentary or something. I did not forget a single thing that day. Not a step. Everything I said out loud. So that is the bonus hack. And now I want to hear yours. What is your funniest brain fog story or your best hack? Drop it in the comments. Remember, I read every comment. I respond to every single comment, and your tip might help somebody else today. Now, if you want deeper support and real conversations between these episodes, then join the Inner Circle. We hang out live once a month, and we keep the chat going every day. The link is in the description below. And don't miss the next episode. I've got a really important episode coming up. But until next time, keep showing up, keep laughing, and keep doing life today.
Parkinson's may be part of your life, but it doesn't get to define it. Thanks for listening to Living with Parkinsons, the good, the bad, and the reality. If this episode moved you, helped you, or reminded you you're not alone, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Want to go deeper? The Inner Circle is waiting. Monthly Zoom calls, 24/7 community, and a direct line to Bryce. You'll find the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up and keep doing life today.